Let me see if I understand. If I give you a ticker symbol and access to the company's income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, and the transcript from their last earnings call, you can tell me if I should buy, sell, or hold, and then give me projected stock prices for January 26, 27, and 28. Is that correct? That's my conversation with Samantha. Samantha understands that AI holds all the stock knowledge of the world over the last decades. Decades of data on every public company, every earnings call, every transcript. The success traits of every successful company in the history of the stock market. But most investors don't have access to this data. And Wall Street, they don't want you to have access to this data. Because if you're in control of that data, they're out of a job. Think about it. It's not in their best interest if you win. There has to be a winner and a loser in every transaction. I've trained an AI agent, Samantha, you've seen her, to analyze everything. 10 years of financial, the latest earnings calls, and analyst sentiment, and then market positioning. She delivers me a 20-page document and then gives me the projections of the price of that stock based on all the data for the price to be on the January of 2026, 27, and 28. She does it. She did it this morning for Meta. And then she turns that into a podcast.
You know, it's pretty eye-opening that Meta, the company we all know for Facebook and Instagram, saw its revenue shoot up by over 20% in just 1 year, hitting, $164.5 billion in 2024?
Yeah, that kind of bounce back really gets your attention.
For sure. And it certainly grabbed the interest of our listener, Kerry, from Best of Us Investors. He sent us his detailed take on Meta's stock, and that's exactly what we're diving into today for you. We're going to unpack the core of his analysis, try and give you a clear understanding of what's driving Meta's performance and, well, what the roadmap ahead might look like, all based on Kerry's insights, of course.
And what's really interesting right out of the gate with Kerry's work is how he frames Meta. It's not just about, scrolling through feeds anymore.
Right.
He positions them as this company strategically navigating towards the metaverse.
Yeah.
While also making these massive bets on artificial intelligence.
That dual approach. Yeah, that sounds key.
I don't really worry about today's noise. I'm interested in what is a stock going to be worth 3 years from now and push the noise out of the equation. Let's just say, what if you woke up and you found out that Palantir had an earnings call and you loved Palantir and you wanted to own it and you did own it and you wanted to know what it was going to be worth in January of 2028. And you came to Best of Us Investors and you clicked on that document. Wow, it's a 20-page document. It goes into the past history. It tells you all about their CEO, their CFO. It tells you about their employee compensation programs. It tells you how much money they're going to generate in 2026, 27, and 28, and what the corresponding price will be based upon their historical PE ratio and their projected PE ratio. It's all right there, and it's in 3 forms. It's in that long document, it's in a podcast, and it's in a briefing. And you can read it, and what results from that? You're an informed investor, and you've pushed out of it all the noise. You aren't worried about Trump. You aren't worrying about Vladimir. You aren't worried about Xi Jinping because it's based on Palantir's ability to generate profits. And that's what makes a successful company. Now, let's take this to the next level, beyond you and me and Palantir. Let's assume that over the next 6 months, I draw 6,000, 5,000 people into this tribe, into this community, and they start making suggestions. Well, let's look at Eli Lilly, and let's look at Merck, because there's some real growth available to the pharmaceutical companies, and they have this scam where they get the government to pay for all their research. Oh, we'll go into that another time. But they're extremely profitable, and particularly if they have AI working on their side. And so then I take that suggestion from you, and I give it to Samantha. And Samantha does all three things. She does the 20-page analysis, she does the 4-page briefing, and she creates a podcast. And now you know, is Eli Lilly, is Merck, are they growth companies? Are they going to continue to have the advantage that they have created for themselves by having you and I pay for their research through those grants, you know, that Harvard and Princeton and Liberty College get to do the research, and then the researchers create their little company on the side so that they can get paid when the pharmaceutical company comes and buys their data and buys their information from them and then turns around and sells us a cure for cancer that we paid for the research for at Harvard? Does that make sense? Is that a company you want to invest in? Samantha will tell you. And then she will warn you if Elon Musk is shutting down that program. Now, will every stock that Samantha analyzes go up? No. There'll be some issues. But the beauty of this is Samantha gets smarter and smarter with every evaluation, with every change in the structure. And she'll learn what I should do to avoid that happening in the future. Because again, she has all the data in the world, and that includes the data from yesterday. And 2 days from now, that will include the data from tomorrow. So she will get smarter. And she's available to you, and you don't have to go to Wall Street and get taken advantage of anymore. So what does an endeavor like this cost? It's expensive. I mean, AI isn't going to come cheap, and it's just going to get more expensive. But the beauty is we have the power of numbers on our side. There are 60 million of us, 66 actually, 66 million of us who manage our own portfolios, who are not dealing with JP Morgan, who are not part of a hedge fund, who are not working with Goldman Sachs. We don't have the money to do that, but we maybe could put together $30, $1 a day, to gain access to Samantha's ability to gather data, analyze that data, put it in a format that we can understand, and give us an advantage that was only available to Wall Street up until today. And now it's available to you. It's available at bestofusinvestors.com. That's my website. And I do not want you to trust me. No. I want you to come and look at it for 14 days. Work with it, try it, listen to Samantha, read the documents, print them out, build your own library for 14 days, and then you decide, is this worth $1 a day to me for the rest of my life? Is this something I could pass on to my children, to my grandchildren, a resource and access to all the knowledge in the world about investing? Because I just heard recently from the CEO of Date Minds that he believes within 5 to 10 years, through the use of AI, they will find a cure for cancer and every disease. Well, if they can do that for diseases, what can they do for my investment portfolio? This is amazing. So, what do you do now? You go into the description, you find the link to bestofusinvestors.com. You find the free 14-day trial. And then you spend 14 days making a decision. Is this going to change my life to the tune of something greater than $1 a day? This is ridiculous. It really is. And the beauty is it's real. So you make a decision. Today's your day to make a decision. Look, I got to close the door at 5,000 because I've got to hire people to take this onslaught of contributions that you're going to be making to tell me to look at, because I believe they're a growth stock of the future, and see if Samantha agrees with me. That's what I want from you. That's your opportunity today. The only question is, are you going to take it or aren't you? Let's explore this further. Why don't you show up for our Friday Stock Talk? Every Friday we get together and we do on a Zoom call and we talk about this. Every day we get together on the Discord and we talk about it. So it's a community. Think about it like your church, your synagogue, your temple. It's where like-minded people come together to gain strength, rather than trying to do this alone. Let's explore this further.